Hello, everyone. This is another Freedom to Feel conversation, and my guest today is Bradley Johnson. He has 15-year background in radio frequency and studies combined waveforms and modulations for 7 years. He has been using Spoki2 generators for several years, and now is the proud owner of a holistic frequency treatment in Indianapolis, Indiana. This is my brief introduction to of you, Bradley. And I'm not the best at it. I love being spontaneous, as I said. Anything every time I read something, don't expect perfection.
No
so
problem.
um, so the full bio will be at the end. The question that I love asking everyone, it never left me this question, and it still feels very authentic. How would you introduce yourself? Who is Bradley in this very moment?
I am a holistic frequency practitioner, and I did get my groundings kind of in Indianapolis in the Indiana area. But within the last 2 years, I actually moved to Lake of the Ozarks, and I've been in the Missouri area. And I have uh, opened a holistic frequency practice with the intention of trying to help other people kind of find the and address the low vibrational issues that are inside their bodies. And
Mm.
in doing that, I'm introducing them to frequency therapies, both from in person and remotely, so that I can help them from afar. But the whole point of this is to try to help train and get people to understand how effective this is to be able to bring a system like this into your house, be able to identify specific health issues, and then go and address those health issues repetitively. As with different issues, is like I said, this is the systems that I started using roughly in 2018 and started becoming very comfortable and familiar with. For the last 3 years now, I've been a gold certified trainer for Spoki2, so I can talk on any product of theirs. I'm very comfortable with any and every product. Um, but I use a lot of their software and their integrations of their frequencies to try to help balance the low vibrational threats in people. And once you can remove those lower vibrational threats, then their frequencies come up, and the more their vibrational frequencies come up, the less vulnerable they are to the lower vibrational issues and threats around them on the environment and wherever they live or wherever they are in the world.
Wow. That's amazing. Yes, I read about the RIFE machines, and I was just going through the website and trying to get a feel for it. And as I mentioned too off record, I have all these open questions because I don't know much about it. So I guess the first question that comes to mind as follow up to that: how did you come across this Spooky 2, and in general, just energies and frequencies? How did it find you in a way? Because it seems like life.
So frequencies, I'd always had a passion and a study and interest in wireless engineering and just a study and understanding of waveform dynamics, how they propagate, how certain waves can be manipulated for travel or for different design purposes. And I did that for several years, and it became almost second nature to the knowledge and understanding of how the technology worked. That once I started realizing and identifying that you can use the same similar type of waveform understanding for healing and addressing issues inside the body, it kind of changed my focus of what I wanted to do and what I was passionate about working for. And so I stepped away as being a wireless engineer, and I started my own practice, and I started helping people. And I really kind of, like I said, I got my first Spoki2 in 2018, and when I got the thing, I did what any normal wireless engineer would do, and I took it apart, and made sure I could see how it worked, and I made sure everything was clear with regards to its function and how it performed, and and I started kind of integrating it, how to use it, and learning the software, and becoming familiar with things and the different methods of delivery and everything that the kind of learning that comes with the learning curve of Spoki2. And like I said, as I started addressing my health issues and my wife's health issues, then it was other friends and family and really anyone that would let me experiment on them. And from that point, then it started becoming more of additional people wanting help and more and help. And like I said, when you're able to take something and stand this up in the house and then use this to have repeatable success over and over again with different types of issues and ailments, because right now Spoki2 has a database of over 61,000 frequencies. It allows you to be able to pick and choose. Do I want to focus on these type of focuses or these types of programs? Because you have so many to choose from.
Right. I see that. I went to the website. Like, what I wondered, if I was to choose one, I wouldn't know where to begin because I I saw that you have kits for beginners, right? For people who are
Sure,
just getting started.
absolutely.
But how do we choose which one? Because there are, like, I think, 4 or 5 of them. I
There are
noticed.
two primary, like, main generators, and in those generators, the kits themselves are primarily going to be the same. Like, accessory wise, are going to come with the different options, similar to what you see kind of here to my left,
Mm,
with regards to a remote quantum, a means for getting frequencies to you, hand cylinders or TENS pads, cold laser. These are kind of the different methods of how you get the frequencies from the generator into your body. But that's really going to be your differences, is the kind of generator that you run with, whether you're buying the blue XM generator, which is generally going to be the more cost-effective solution, and you can get in a kit for about $350 or so, or you're
right.
getting the Gen X Pro, which has 2 generators in one, and its kit, which is roughly about $950 or so. Like I said, one has all the more bells and whistles, but the kits with regards to the accessories and the things that come in them, or the way of trying and learning, are the same. So really what you should focus on, or your first question should be, is what type of generator do I want to run with? The more cost effective one, or do I want to spend the nice, or get the nicer one and have two in one, and kind of have the ability to expand my learning curve as I go with this?
Right, and that's true. Yeah, I love the idea of just trying something too. I'm very curious, so I love trying
Oh yeah.
things and see how it works.
Oh, and I love
But
that with frequencies too, because it's
mm,
frequencies, and frequency therapies are one of those things where, even if people have never tried it before, what do you have to lose from trying it? And so
right.
it is one of those things that when stuff starts working very, very quickly in the body, people can't describe it any other way.
Wow. Gosh, I love that. How does it work, Brad? Can you give us like a description, just a visualization of what is to expect in a sense? Do we expect anything? Is that a good idea actually to create an intention, or just
Well, again, this all depends on what your intention is behind this. Like, several
yeah.
people may have healing and or spiritual wishes where they're trying to open up or connect certain aspects of their life. Again, like you talked about earlier, like not really knowing one program to run. Like, the very
Yeah.
first program that I ever tried running was a 7 chakras program to help open and unlock and balance my body's chakras, something that I could notice and feel. You know,
Yeah.
but the database, as I mentioned, has tons of modalities. So regardless if you're severely sick with something serious and we're trying to target and break stuff down, or you're trying to boost up and heal and repair and cover, there's a plethora of frequencies between the two to kind of help pick and choose.
Right. Oh, I see. You see, that becomes more fun too, in a sense. Yeah, I was looking at the products. There's so many of them, and now that you gave me an idea, so that's it's very clear to me. You just go with something that almost like using your intuition anyway. That's how I navigate that realm when I'm choosing
Honestly, like,
something.
when I recommend like kits and where people start with them, I always recommend people start with the Gen X Pro kit, because here's the reason why.
Mm,
I've
yeah.
made the mistake of recommending just the XM, the kind of more cost effective kit, and people have bought it. And then normally what happens is as people progress and their learning starts becoming more, and they're starting to do and want to do more with the generator, now all of a sudden they start becoming regretful that they didn't buy the second one. Like, why didn't I spend a little bit more money and have the other one
Yeah.
instead? So, from my recommendation
Yeah.
perspective, I'm always going to go with the more expensive unit up front. It does have the more bells and whistles with regards to the things that you can accomplish, but it also has more room for you to grow, the ability to do targeted and or healing at the same time,
Mm,
higher frequency ranges, and it also allows you to save programs into its memory. So if you wanted to use it for travel without taking your laptop, you could do
wow.
that as well. These are all kind of features that only come with this particular generator.
Wow, that's very helpful too. And a question that comes to mind, another one, is about the what to expect when it comes to healing. Let's say if somebody has cancer, is that something that you recommended them to? Yeah,
Yeah. So
I would start
and
there.
again, like, from healing, and their focus should be killing. Like, your focus should be targeting the vibrational frequencies for the harmful cancer cells that are cancerous in the body. This would be a breakdown or a killing modality approach. What would generally happen is you would use the right resonant frequency that would cause so much vibration inside those cells that they would shatter. Now, again, that process of breaking them down generally is not going to feel the best. It's very similar to people who have done chemo or radiation type therapies. They know and understand what the kind of body goes through as you're kind of blasting stuff out of the body. Radio
Right.
frequencies are similar to this with regards to on a smaller scale, because you're not going to feel as direct, because we're leaving all the healthy cells alone with this approach, but you are
Right.
going to still target those cancerous cells, and they are going to release toxic micro and endo die off that, until you process those out your main exit detox ways, you're going to notice and you're going to feel. So, again, with regards to something serious like any of the C protocols, COVID-19, cancers, anything like that, those all have specific dedicated approaches to say, okay, let's come in and start learning the system. Let's run biofeedback scans and start coming up with a game plan so that we can start running this race to track this thing down.
Right. So in a way, you create a protocol, right? Um, do you have any testimonials on cancer or COVID? Is there
Multiple.
anyone? Oh, you do.
Again, like since I've opened my practice in March of 2021, we have addressed
Wow.
health issues in over 1,200 different people, including 16 cases of cancers. So,
Wow.
whether they're prostate or breast or leukemia, um, again, that's the uniqueness of the system is that it's vast enough that multiple things, whether you're focused on serious mold, Lyme and mold issues that you've been suffering from for multiple years, or chronic depression, like that's where I was when I first bought the system. Is I was suffering from severe depression for almost a decade plus. I was heavily medicated. I was suffering from that and multiple other issues that I was also medicated for. And when I started using the Spoki2 system, I used this to break free from not only the depression but the physical prescription drugs as well,
Yeah.
in the process of getting my way to where I am now.
Wow.
And no different. Every single person has what I call a pathway, and that pathway
Mm.
is the process of using the right frequencies for restoring your body's DNA to back to its normal integrity of where it was when you were first born. Now, with
Right.
some, and particularly like with healing modality approaches, those are going to be slower. You're not going to notice those changes as quickly because you're not going to have that same type of pathogenic exchange like what you do when you're targeting or killing
Mhm.
stuff.
Yes.
So healing modalities will generally take a little bit longer. So that's why it's really important to track and monitor what types of programs you're running so that you make sure that your body is in fact having success from them.
Right, that makes sense. And do we need guidance? Is that would make the process more effective to have?
Absolutely, and that's what I'm here for. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I do as a gold certified trainer. I do one-on-one Zoom training sessions for people. There are multiple YouTube training sessions out there of any and almost every topic of every Spoki2 product that I've hosted a seminar for. The whole point of purchasing a device like this isn't just owning it and having it in the house. It's knowing and understanding how to effectively use it, and that's
Right.
where I come into play.
Wow, I love that. See, I love guidance. There's something about that that really, I don't know, it
Been
speaks
down that
beyond.
road.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yes, Brad. Yeah, you're about to say something.
No, I was just saying, like I've been down that road with a lot of people, so it's like it's easier to help train and talk to people who are brand new at this because there can be a little bit of a learning curve with this because of the fact that it's a new technology and it's got a new interface and a new kind of all the moving parts and pieces and things like that. So having somebody that can kind of walk and coach you through it, that's the whole purpose of what I do.
Right. Yeah. I love that. This, like I said, I really, really, I have a devotion. I'm very devotional. So there's something about being guided by others who know and that they have those, not just the knowledge, but they have that intention in them because they have the experience too, the knowledge.
Experience, yeah.
That's so crucial. So, talk to me about spirituality and the Spoki2 generators. Do people like me, like I do meditation and I try as best as I can to keep my vibrations really high. So I
Sure.
don't get sick. For the last 20 years, I never got sick. Not even one day, if I can remember. So is that something that it's a replacement for spiritual practices and
Not at
why?
all, not a replacement. So when you're using the frequencies, and the frequencies are basically hitting lower vibrational stuff that you're focusing on in each individual person's lifestyle, as you bring these up, it has a tendency of helping you connect with your spiritual side. Because once you start clearing stuff out, like I said, the way your
Mm,
mind thinks, you start having reduced brain fog. You start having the
wow.
ability to focus on clear, more things with regards to what you want to do with your life, or again, you're finding this your side with regards to being stronger with God.
Yes, 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 yes.
Not a
Doing
replacement
time.
by any means, but like I said, I've seen multiple cases where, like even running clients through a detoxification protocol. Towards the end half of it, I actually have to warn some of my clients to tell them, "Hey, these next couple of days, I'm going to focus on programs like chemtrails and radiation detoxification and plastics and stuff like that that are environmental." And when those come up, people have a tendency of reporting back to me very emotional. I'm being very emotional for certain things. Like
Yeah.
crying for no good reason or being upset over stuff that you normally wouldn't care about is very common when you're, like I said, breaking stuff up from deeper within, and it's bringing up
Mm.
some trapped emotions.
That is true. Yeah, I've been there. Tell me about it. Oh, I still go through the process too. It's fascinating to me. Yes, yes, yes. So, do you also recommend, besides the sessions using the machines, also the approach of eating healthy, less exposure to toxins, having a sense of purpose, doing something that we love, being in contact with people who are also positive and want the best for us? Is that you also recommend all these things?
One
You
hundred
suggest?
percent. But like, yeah, I don't necessarily have to recommend it. This is something that normally just comes naturally. Like, it's a
Mm,
habit of when you
yeah.
start using frequencies to break down the kind of junk or garbage that we've put into our bodies over the years. It all of a sudden something mentally and psychologically changes in you to say, hey, you know what? It might be a little bit smarter for me to start thinking about what I'm putting into my body to help take care of it versus
Wow.
what I've been doing to it, because you're now seeing the physical changes and you're experiencing better sleep, better energy, better thought, focus, creativity, everything changes.
Mm, yeah, of course, that resonates. So, in a way, we become by opening, by clearing the body, kind of healing the body, then we create this almost like a portal to our own inner guidance, isn't it? Wisdom.
Well,
So,
correct. Like, again, like when you don't have all that other stuff kind of weighing you down, you get to allow yourselves and your energy to focus on things more important to yourself.
yeah, that's it, Bradley. Yeah, that's exactly it. Gosh. So talk to me about the RIFE machine. I was just curious about that, and also the history. Is that correct? I think I wrote it here that the founder of Spoki2 is that John White.
It is.
Yeah, talk to me about the history of Spoki2 generators and
Spooky Two
possibly
and the
what's
company
that.
itself, it was founded by John White, and they have been around for over 12 years now. Um, we have been successfully integrating and bringing people a very cost-effective means of standing up rifing frequency generators in the house, and at the same time, John has found a miraculous way of offering the software that has all these frequencies and everything for free. So all you need is a Windows-based computer and a generator to kind of introduce all of the potentials of everything that are offered through Spooky 2 and what John White has brought to the world. Um, like I said, for a very, very cost effective means.
Yeah, Nikola Tesla said that if you wish to understand the universe, think of energy, frequency, and vibration. I have
Yeah.
heard this before, but I know you quoted on the website. This has been quoted too. So everything's energy. So what's with the? I would love to understand what's happening with the machines. Those frequencies they're stored in these devices, and then they are kind of in a way transmitted to us through waves. How does I would love to know how that works exactly.
Okay. So the idea and understanding of how this working theory of this generator and system works is we have a couple things. We've got our generator here. We've got our remote. You know, the remote is what we put our DNA fingernail cells samples into. Now, when we
Um,
connect this to the Spooky 2 software and we run frequency programs that we've decided to choose to run, let's say seven chakras, or personally, I'm a humongous fan of the 528 frequency because it's designed for DNA integrity. It helps restore and balance your body's DNA. So,
wow.
in this instance, if I take my fingernail and I clip it and put it inside the remote here, I can go anywhere in the world and those frequencies will still hit me at the same time they're hitting this sample.
Wow.
Okay.
From a distance.
From the distance, from
Wow.
afar. This is called
Right.
quantum entanglement because
Right.
that piece of DNA from my fingernail is attached to me. The moment that those frequencies hit that DNA, it hits me.
That is amazing. So that's what we call actually the invisible world in spirituality, right? A lot of shamans they refer to that, like they do a lot of healing work, not just from a distance, but there is this they do something around you, and of course they're using more like natural tools, like nature. They're just using fire and all those things. But what is that? I'm very much connected to nature, so that's something that's very it's sacred to me, and of course everything is sacred. But then now you know that what's happening is with the AI, a lot of people are becoming afraid that robots, machines will replace us or actually control us in so many ways. Talk to me for a moment. We don't have to be here a little bit concerned with overtaken of AI, right? When it comes to these
There's
spooky.
almost no AI integration involved in this particular software, and that was one of the most unique selling points that I've very found, about the Spoki2 software itself, is that once you install the Spoki2 software onto your desktop, your Windows-based laptop, you don't need internet access to run it. You means you can be completely offline, never touch the internet access to the whole world, and you can still run and function with the Spoki2 interface running no problem.
Wow. That sounds like magic to me. I know maybe not to you because you're very technical and you just break down things and you want to understand, but sounds like magic. Is that actually an accurate description too? If I use that word to describe the Spooky
You
2?
can't really call it magical when it's been proven and backed by science, though. So when
Mm,
you know that you've tested and proven quantum as a possibility. We've measured the particles of a spin rate, of a particle. So in
yeah.
doing so, this is ultimately how Tesla proved the technology of quantum entanglement to Einstein. Uh, Again, you're talking early 1900s, time frame. But
Yeah.
the uniqueness of what we're talking about here is nothing new. Like, this technology has been around for over 100 years, and we're just now starting to kind of re-scratch the surface on it. And there are a lot of people that are resonating with it because of its potential and what it can ultimately do when you bring it into the house.
Right. I went to a place, I live in Clearwater, Florida, and I went to a place that they offer Scalar Light, kind of, I don't know what you call it, therapy. So I went there, they had all these screens that they run in
Hmm.
like lights, and then I was just laying down there for about an hour. I didn't feel anything though when I left. Is that, yeah, I would love to, I know you mentioned, I heard somewhere Scalar Light, there was, or
Yep.
the
And again,
Scalar.
like, there are a couple different places that are like this. Some I am not very fond of, simply because of the cost associated with the
Yeah,
services that they're offering. My whole
yeah.
take on helping people is that if you actually find something that is designed to truly help somebody, then it should be cost affordable, which is primarily one of the reasons why I worked with Spoki2, is that because
Right.
people should be able to afford even the most cost effective way of standing up something like this. And a service like that, like, even if you kind of mimic what Royal Rife did, where he addressed cancer over a 90-day and 3-week period of time, doing one session every 5 days, you could never financially afford that type of work with a place like that, and so that's not a realistic option for healing people. So the ability to be able to bring stuff into the home, and work with, like, them at your own convenience, at your own price, that's a totally different, kind of game changer. But there are more and more places, just like what you're talking about, that are kind of energy amplifiers, that the
Yeah.
more that you go. Now, again, each person will respond differently, and the uniqueness of it is that sometimes when you're interacting with scalar energy, the scalar energy will carry with you. So, like, for example, I had a client that I was training with scalar one time, and I put her into a scalar field for about 25 to 30 minutes. And that evening, when she was staying in the hotel, I checked with her the next morning. I said, "Hey, how did you sleep?" And she said, "Well, I tried going to bed at about 10 or 11 o'clock, but I bounced off the walls until about 2 or 3 because I just couldn't close my mind." Like, that energy has a tendency of catching up with people. Sometimes it's just not when they
Mm,
expect it to. So,
mm.
scalar, like I said, has a tendency of traveling with you outside of whatever your sessions or treatments are.
Oh, I see. And that's not beneficial. I thought it
It's
would
not that it's
be.
not beneficial, but it can be inconvenient when you're trying to sleep or you're trying to do other things and
Oh,
you got
I
a big,
see.
big work day or something.
Yeah, it sounds like a spiritual also type practices. Yeah, because when I do spiritual practices that are intense, I can't sleep. Yeah, but I feel very energized anyway. It's almost like having the energy of 10 people and then you can't really, yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing.
That's
um
awesome.
gosh, I had another question for you. Yes, so are these devices made in the United States? Are they manufactured
No,
here
they are not. They're made in Beijing, China.
in
Everything
China?
is Beijing, shipped out of China. Has been for the last, like I said, 12 years now.
Okay, and that
And
it
that's
doesn't have a
primarily
real
the
concern
primary
about
reason why
cost.
it's so cost effective.
Right, right. Do they produce them here too? Are they thinking about it? Or no,
Nope,
no. Oh, okay.
nope,
Not for now.
not for now. Not
So,
that we've
so
heard
you
of.
have. I was reading about the different modes. So you have the remote mode, contact mode, and then cold laser, and
Yep,
then the PEMF,
yep,
plasma mode. Gosh, so many of them. I would
yep.
love to for you to explain all these modes and how they work.
Okay, so we kind of talked about the remote mode a little bit already with
Oh
regards
yeah.
to putting your fingernail sample in here. The
Yes.
contact, this is going to be something like hand
Yeah.
cylinders and or TENS pads, where you're physically bringing the frequencies into your body via absorption. So generally
Ah,
something like this is going to be a little bit stronger than something like remote because it's physically bringing it into the body. So
right.
whether you're let's say you have cramping or inflammation in an ankle, you could bend this thing behind a knee, or you could put this
Yeah.
under an arm or armpit, or hold on to it. There are just different ways of introducing the frequencies into the body via absorption.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
you'll have the same thing with TENS pads, only these are going to adhere to the body. Same understanding though, and then you just ultimately replace these out with either the adhesives to the body or the hand cylinders, your choice.
Right. Oh, wow. Awesome.
Now, the cold laser is a very unique product because this actually uses a red light laser to penetrate into the blood directly. So its ability to bring frequencies directly into the vein and artery lines is very, very, very effective with regards to
Mm,
its means for delivery.
right.
Okay.
God.
The PEMF coil will pulse a frequency up to 6 inches deep. So that's going to be, again, more ideal for like hitting organs or stuff like that that's more deeply seated, uh,
Yes.
better delivery. But all of these accessories are primarily going to come in your different kits. And that's, again, all just different methods for when you're running remote, to run contact, to run coil, to run a cold laser, to
Yeah.
however else you want to bring the frequencies into the body, all potential with this one kit.
Right. God, that's pretty awesome. Thank you for showing all that too. Do you
Sure.
train other facilitators, other healers to use
Yes.
the devices?
Absolutely.
And do you
Again,
also,
as I mentioned, doesn't matter who you are or what you want to do or how you want to integrate this in, whether you have an existing holistic business and you're just looking to kind of get an interesting edge with the frequency side on it, so be it. I've done this tons and tons and tons of times.
yeah, so you train anybody who is, do you have it like a formal training, let's say school for that, or
Not
it's
really.
very
Like I said, I just
organic?
help people over Zoom call because everybody kind of learns and absorbs information differently. And
Yeah.
obviously, with different people's business focuses, you always are going to have kind of a little unique twist with regards to how do you integrate in something like this without causing too much havoc. Uh, but yes, absolutely no problem.
Yeah, so that's good to know. And when it comes to healing, Brad, is that what is now I'm just trying to how do you define what healing is? Do we have to believe? A lot of times I know that belief systems help, right? Believe in
Beliefs
something.
are a fundamental part of this, and I
Yeah,
call this kind of the line in the sand. Like
right.
you can use a frequency to address anything from a vibrational perspective inside your body, but the moment that you are unable to help your own self, then the
Mhm.
frequencies aren't going to do that for you. And so
Right.
that
Um,
psychological and mental line that if you are not willing to walk over or have that individual walk that you're trying to help walk over, I've
yeah.
always unfortunately say like you can't lower your vibration to help people who aren't willing to help themselves.
Yes, that's a big one. And do you wonder why some people are not open to heal themselves or even the suggestion of being healed? Do you
To be
have?
perfectly honest with you, we have a massive world and there are lots of different people, and some
Yeah.
are will resonate to it and the others don't. And I don't want to spend time and or energies exhausting myself on people who don't care about what I'm talking about.
Yes, I absolutely agree. And I do that sometimes, and I need to learn not to waste my energy, right? Sometimes I just keep talking with people who are not listening anyway, around me, like family members and all that. So, yeah, and that I have to change that one. So, another question for you is about the difference between wellness and well-being. I know it sounds like a very light question, but I usually use well-being a lot more than wellness. Is that do you see it as one and the same, those concepts, or
Well, I
separate?
mean, though your overall wellness is can be attributed to multiple things, not just using frequencies, but like you were saying, health, nutrition, dietary aspects, things that kind of overall on an overall goal. Like
Yeah,
where again, like you can use one method of delivery, whether it's nutrition or frequencies, to balance the well-being of one specific area in the body or another, but the overall attribute to what you're, like I said, the wellness of what you're looking to kind of do with your body and accomplish. Like I said, I
yeah.
think all of them play together.
Yes, yes, that's true. There's nothing that's separate anyway. Um, and what is your view of infinite possibilities? And that's one. And second is this idea of death. So energy, if we are energy, you have heard that before. So many of us that can never be destroyed, right? So we can never die, really. Is that something that you also talk to people when you meet them? You mentioned those aspects of. of life, the more esoteric ones per se? Do you tap
Only
into
really
those?
those that ask, like what happens with afterlife, or reincarnated energies or anything like that, or where we go or what they do. Um,
Yeah.
the universe that we live in, like the planetary plane that we're on, is massive, and so
Right.
it's the what we don't know. We could spend days talking about, and so from that perspective,
Mhm.
like I said, I generally will help answer anybody who has any questions that I'm familiar with or I have experience with. But for those things that we're yet to really come across, well, I'll let you know when we get there.
Yeah, that's a good answer too. But do you have any intuitive kind of thought or sense of what we are, what we are made, what we are made of? It seems like we are getting close to it when we talk about energy because it's very subtle. But
I will
do
tell you
you?
this, that what I am noticing right now, being in this kind of industry and being in and around and talking with people, is that there is a collective rise of consciousness that's happening globally, not just in the U.S. but across the
Yeah.
world, with regards to people that are waking up to their understanding of how certain
Mm,
things work, of what makes them passionate about certain things. And I think
yeah.
more and more and more people are starting to remember parts
Mm,
of their original ancestry lines as to what
mm,
they like or what they were passionate for, or what they
mm,
originally found a meaning for, feeling like, what am I supposed to be doing here? A lot
yeah.
more people are starting to wake up to that understanding here
Mm,
globally.
yeah.
And again, I don't think it's anything that's going to be stopped at all.
I love that. Yeah, of course, I've been feeling those energies too. What is the difference between consciousness and energy? Is that one and the same to you?
Well, again, like the energies themselves are all around us. You absorb them, you shift them, you maneuver them. But your consciousness and your upper understanding of kind of the inner peace that drives you, that's a little bit more a higher level, with regards to a level
Mm,
of thinking, a level of processing, how you interpret things, how you
mm,
behave. A lot
mm,
of things go into that upper level. So
yeah.
they are different, but they interact with each other with regards to, obviously, your consciousness and the energies that you choose to be around, and or again, unknowingly partake in.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So a lot of that is unconscious anyway, right? The way we
Well, yeah, like a case in point example, somebody who gets headaches 5 days a week and can't figure it out because they don't realize that where they're going to work is planted in a 5G parking lot, and their work is blasting them with radiation, and they can't figure it out. And so it's stuff like this that, like I said, that sometimes we just get blanketed to, and we get tuned into the dissonance of the world that we lived in and are living in, and people get lost.
Yes, I know, Brad. They do get lost. What is your message for those who are listening? They're feeling lost, but they are still open and listening. What would you tell them?
My number one thing would be, don't give up hope. That there's definite potential out there. There's avenues for every single individual person, regardless of what status or mental condition that you're currently in.
Yeah.
There's always a way of improving your overall quality of life.
That's true. So again, being open to the possibilities, right? That's you see, being open to me is such a sacred state of mind. If we can keep our hearts and our minds open. Unfortunately, we a lot of us have closed our hearts and our minds. A lot of times, the mind's so
Walled them off.
I know, I know. Um, so, is there any questions that I'm just wondering here because, as I mentioned, I'm not too familiar with the topic. Are there any questions that I didn't ask, Brad, that you would like to give your own answers to for the questions that I didn't ask in a way?
I could write a book on the questions you didn't ask, simply because there
Well,
are
we could. Yes.
a lot of information to cover on this. But that's okay. Like, it works best with this type of stuff, because honestly, talking about a lot of it tends to overwhelm people when you just throw stuff
Mm,
at them so much. So you absorb this information as it resonates with you. Like, if you're passionate about it, you want to look up more information about it. There are avenues for you to be able to learn and understand exactly how to do this.
yes, yes. And the website, I know there are different websites. The one that I have from Darcy is a specific one that I'll have on the podcast notes, and they will take anyone to the website, one of the main websites. But what is the website that you would like to mention here verbally? Is
So again, the main websites, obviously, for purchasing any of your Spoki2 products is going to be spoki2.com.
right.
That's going to be the best place to kind of download the software, to check out the products. Again, check out the forums if you've got questions. Check out some of the client feedbacks that have been using these products for over 12 years now.
Yeah.
Additionally, my website is out there. My website is freak, just like the word frequency,
Oh,
FRE-Q.com. That's where you can go with regards to making contact with me to help with training or any other things that you may need help with regards to learning and understanding the radio frequency side of this world. Please let me know. I'll be more than happy to reach out and help.
oh, that's wonderful. I didn't have the website. So I'll have that off record. I'll get that properly because I can't read my own handwriting. And
No
then
problem.
I'll have it there on the podcast notes. Another question, I have two questions, ending questions for you. One is, what does it feel like when we have this high frequency level? We are vibrating at a higher level. What does it feel like?
Okay. That's really simple. So I used to be like, again, when my vibrations were very low prior to 2018, I used to be a late riser. I used to get out of bed at like 9:30 or 10. I would feel like I'm still asleep. I would have draggish days and I would go to bed tired and wake up tired. And
Yeah.
now my life is very different. Now that I've removed all those lower vibrational threats and I'm living only an exclusively high vibrational frequency life, man, I get up every morning at 5 a.m. shot out of bed
Wow.
like a cannon, man. I'm very excited and very passionate about what I do. I work 12-hour days, 6 days a week, because I am, again, very excited to try to help anybody, and making myself available to do that is the purpose for what I'm passionate about right now. And
Wow.
uh, again, like when you resonate like this, I work and put in as much as I can to try to help people try to understand that the learning curve of this can be conquered, and that you can have success with this, not just success but repeatable success with it. And the whole point of teaching and understanding and helping people better kind of learn how to use this stuff is that you can start addressing issues in your own health, of your own life, and start raising that up. And then once you do, then you get to choose who you want to pay that forward to, who you want to help in your life or in your relations or anything like that. It's up to you with regards to how you pay that forward.
That is so true. I love that we can just define, right, what that is. And speaking of definitions and success, how do you define success these days? What is that for you? What is success to you?
Success is different to every person, because some individuals will focus on the monetary side of things, other individuals will
Yeah,
focus on their achievements, and other individuals will focus on other aspirations of things that they find to be good or bad in their life. Um,
right.
Personally, like I tend to circle success with regards to happiness. If you're
Mm,
happy and you live a happy
yeah.
life, then you are successful. But if
Mhm.
you struggle with happiness and you're focused on depression, or you're currently constantly angry or whatever, then something with regards to the successions in your life is off.
Yes. And what are the pillars? What are the basis for happiness? What
Well,
is
again, like open thought process, with regards to not having so much stuff bogging you down. Like, again, these are the issues that most people suffer from with depression and anxiety and fear factors and stuff that don't really exist. Um,
yeah.
the ability to be able to have clear, focused thought, open conversations and relationships with your friends, with your family, and with God.
Yeah.
These are all relative things with regards to, again, the how you exchange and interact with energies on a day-to-day basis.
Oh, yes, because everything and everyone, they're all energy. Everything's energy. So it's our
100%.
relationship with energy. How amazing. I never thought it that way, although it's quite obvious. So my last question to you is one that I usually ask everyone at the end, and I have to ask you, what three experiences you wish everyone to have before they die? Yeah.
Number one would be to experiment with frequency therapy, see what it can do for your life, see how it can change or make a difference or a benefit in your life. That would be easy. Number two, again, like I said, I think that where we're headed globally, like where we're moving towards a golden era of peace, and that involves people loving and caring, and being with one another and stuff like that, and that unfortunately means that there are a lot of people that are going to have to get over their hate and their things like that are currently, as part of
Mm,
their day-to-day life. And so I
mm,
guess, like, with regards to second, I would hope that everybody has the opportunity to learn how to love someone in their life,
oh,
because that's really important. And like I said,
mm,
when you have that passion for someone from someone else's perspective, then you share and you interact with them and what's going on. You have family, you have friends. This is how the normal lifetime tries to go. But I would want to make sure that everybody had that in their life, as my second wish. And I guess my third wish,
yeah.
I guess if I could wish something from my golden perspective, is I would like to remove financial wealth. For some reason, when things started changing in me a couple of years ago, and I woke up to my purpose, I lost focus of wealth. And most of the services that I offer are on donation basis.
Mm.
But so many people in this world get focused on the monetary side of things and the material things of what we have in our possessions. And I really wish that we had a different or a more balanced system globally, that more people could have the same type of exchanges anywhere and everywhere without the hustles and the kind of, like I said, the fear of the everyday lifestyle that we're living.
Mm. Gosh, Bradley. That's beautiful. Thank you. Yes.
Those are my three.
What's not to love about that? Thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, I love everything that you're doing. I love when you also say, oh, this is coming from my sense of purpose. I woke up to my purpose. And then, of course, it always goes back to love. I don't know if you probably heard of that. Everything healed, all the expressions of the expression of energies, they are coming from one of those two places, right? The compressed, contracted one, fear or love. So they are
Sure.
open, expanded, and in just, yeah, let's do it together. But yes, it seems like we still got a long ways to go, but who knows? Maybe not, right? I love how you talked about this twice or three times throughout the conversation, that we are something is happening with it, and we can feel it. Something it is happening. It's open up
Trust me,
now.
I can definitely feel it. Even us
Me,
talking about it makes the hair on my arm
me
stand up.
too. Me too. That's funny. So that's the power of energy, how real it is, right? Like
Yes,
we connect, like at that level, we see the cellular level, because what can I say? Everything is interconnected. There's nothing. Ah, gosh, I love all this. What can I say? Thank you so much again for saying yes to the conversation today.
absolutely. It was a pleasure
Ah,
talking with you.
yeah, and your contribution to this reality. Thank you.